A rematch that changes everything. 2 weeks. That's all the time separating one of the most convincing victories of the season, and one of the most anticipated rematches on grass. Just 14 days ago, Alexandra Eala walked onto the clay courts of Roland Garros with confidence. Minutes later, that confidence had been shattered. Across the net stood someone who knew her game almost as well as she did. Her doubles partner. Her friend. Iva Jovic. And Jovic didn't just beat Eala. She exposed every weakness. Now fate has brought them together again. Different country. Different surface. Different conditions. But the same question remains. Was Paris the truth? Or was it just the surface? Because this time, everything may be different. And what happens next could completely change the narrative surrounding both rising stars. Let's get into it. When Alexandra Eala arrived in London, she wasn't carrying the disappointment of Paris. She was carrying a trophy. And not just any trophy. The first grass court title of her professional career. Just days before Queen's Club, Eala produced the best grass court tennis of her life at the Birmingham Open. Match after match, she looked unstoppable. She crushed opponents. Controlled rallies. Dictated points. And most importantly, she kept winning. Priscilla Hahn. Elena Karyeva. Manankia Sawanki. Rebecca Mazarova. One by one, they fell. Even when Eala faced adversity in the semifinals and final, she found a way through. The championship match was the perfect example. After losing the opening set against Nikola Bartunkova, many players would have cracked. Eala didn't. She adapted. She fought back. And she lifted the trophy. Her second WTA 125 title. Her first on grass. A breakthrough moment. But here's what made it impressive. She didn't celebrate like someone who had arrived. She spoke like someone who knew the real work was still ahead. Because deep down, she understood something important. Winning a WTA 125 tournament is one thing. Winning against the world's best is something completely different. And she wouldn't have to wait long for that test. Just 48 hours later, she stepped onto the courts at Queen's Club. The challenge? Veteran Zhang Shuai. An experienced player who immediately put Eala under pressure. Before fans could settle into their seats, Eala found herself trailing. 2-0. Momentum gone. Questions rising. Was Birmingham simply an emotional high? Had the turnaround from clay to grass taken too much out of her? But then something happened. Instead of panicking, Eala settled. She trusted her game. Point by point, she worked her way back. Soon she was dictating rallies. Controlling service games. Playing with confidence. The result? A straight sets victory. Another win. Another statement. And suddenly, Eala entered the second round riding a 6-match grass court winning streak. Undefeated on the surface in 2026. That's not luck. That's momentum. But now comes the difficult part. Because across the net stands someone who has already solved the puzzle. Iva Jovic's rise has been nothing short of remarkable. At just 18 years old, she's already proving she belongs among the sport's future stars. Earlier this season, she made headlines at the Australian Open. Not because she participated. Because she shocked the tennis world. She defeated higher-ranked opponents. Played fearless tennis. And reached the quarterfinals. The youngest woman to do it in nearly 2 decades. Think about that. Hundreds of players dream about making a Grand Slam quarterfinal. Jovic did it before turning 19. Of course, reality arrived in the form of Aryna Sabalenka. The world-class power. The relentless pressure. The difference between a rising star and an established superstar. Sabalenka ended the dream. But she also revealed something important. Jovic wasn't intimidated by the stage. She belonged there. And throughout 2026, she has continued proving it. Deep runs. Big wins. Strong performances. Yet her season has also shown flashes of inconsistency. Brilliant one week. Vulnerable the next. Capable of beating elite players. Then unexpectedly losing matches she should control. That unpredictability is both her strength and her weakness. Because when Jovic is locked in, she's dangerous. Very dangerous. And nowhere was that more obvious than Roland Garros. The Paris meeting between these two wasn't close. That's the uncomfortable truth. Jovic identified Eala's biggest weakness and attacked it relentlessly. The serve. Again and again, she pressured Eala's service games. Forced mistakes. Created doubt. And controlled the match. By the end, the result felt decisive. Almost convincing enough to suggest the rivalry had already been settled. Almost. Because tennis doesn't work that way. Especially not when the surface changes. And that's where this story gets interesting. Very interesting. Clay and grass may both be tennis courts. But they reward completely different skills. Clay is patient. Grass is impatient. Clay gives players time. Grass steals it. Clay rewards long rallies. Grass rewards quick decisions. And those differences could completely reshape this matchup. Why? Because the weakness that hurt Eala in Paris may not hurt her nearly as much in London. Let's talk about her serve. The statistics aren't pretty. Double faults have been a recurring problem. Second serves have often been vulnerable. And Jovic took full advantage of that on clay. But grass changes the equation. A well-placed serve on grass becomes far more dangerous. The ball stays lower. Skids faster. And gives returners less time to react. Suddenly, placement matters more than raw power. That's good news for Eala. She doesn't need to hit aces. She doesn't need to overpower Jovic. She simply needs to make her work. And if she can consistently land first serves above 60%, everything changes. Every hold becomes valuable. Every service game becomes pressure on Jovic. Every missed return starts planting seeds of frustration. The match begins to shift. But let's not pretend Jovic doesn't have weapons of her own. Because she absolutely does. In fact, one area of her game has improved dramatically. Her serve. Reports earlier this season highlighted a significant increase in pace. More speed. More penetration. More free points. And on grass, those gains become even more dangerous. A faster serve on grass doesn't just travel quickly. It explodes through the court. The bounce stays low. The reaction window disappears. And suddenly the returner is defending instead of attacking. If Jovic serves efficiently, she becomes incredibly difficult to break. And that's exactly what makes this matchup so fascinating. Both players have reasons to believe the surface favors them. Only one can be right. Then there's another layer most people overlook. The doubles partnership. Normally, analysts talk about friendship, emotions, chemistry. But the real advantage is information. These players know each other. Really know each other. They've practiced together. Competed together. Shared courts. Shared strategies. Shared patterns. Jovic knows where Eala likes to serve under pressure. Eala knows Jovic's favorite targets. Both possess information opponents rarely have. And that creates a fascinating battle. There are no surprises. No secrets. No hidden weapons. Just execution. Who can perform better under pressure? Who can adapt faster? Who can handle the moment? Those questions may decide everything. The reality is simple. Jovic enters as the favorite. She's ranked higher. She's beaten Eala recently. She owns the psychological advantage. And she has proven herself against stronger competition throughout the season. But favorites don't always win. Especially on grass. Especially when momentum enters the equation. And right now? Momentum belongs to Alexandra Eala. She's playing with confidence. Belief. Rhythm. The kind of rhythm players spend months searching for. If she serves well, keeps points short, attacks early, and avoids allowing Jovic to settle into extended exchanges, she has a real chance. A very real chance. But if the serve collapses, if the second serve becomes vulnerable, if Jovic starts dictating returns, then Paris may repeat itself. And that's what makes this rematch impossible to ignore. Because this isn't really about rankings. It's not even about friendship. It's about adaptation. It's about proving whether a result was caused by the opponent or by the conditions. Can Eala show that grass changes everything? Can Jovic prove that Paris wasn't a fluke? Can either player separate emotion from competition when facing someone they know so well? Those answers are coming soon. And they may arrive faster than either player expects. Because grass has a way of speeding everything up. The ball travels faster. The rallies end quicker. The decisions become immediate. There is nowhere to hide. No time to hesitate. Only action. Only execution. Only results. And when the first ball is struck in London, one player will be trying to rewrite the story. The other will be trying to prove the story never needed rewriting. That's why this match matters. That's why fans are watching. And that's why this rematch could end up being one of the most fascinating battles of the entire grass court season. So what do you think? Does Alexandra Eala get revenge and prove grass changes everything? Or does Iva Jovic show that Paris was simply the beginning of her dominance? Let us know your prediction in the comments. And if you love tennis stories, rivalries, and the biggest moments from the WTA Tour, make sure to subscribe. Because this rivalry may only be getting started.